Hi there, Six of Queens here, and learning still sucks. Last week I worked on the piece AWHHOH from Chapter 6 of Bastien Piano for Adults, New Rhythms. The piece introduced the concept of a musical notation called dal segno al fine, or dal segno al fine. I'm still not going to look it up. Fight me. Essentially, it's just another kind of repeat in music, indicating a different place to start the repeat from and where to play through. You can check the video link up here if you actually want to see more about that. I'm not going to go into it more here, but did over the course of 3 lessons finish up my work on it, which means that I'm moving on to a new piece this lesson, and will, as I've been for the last few weeks, split my lesson up today and for the next, into the foreseeable future, into a little more than half at the front end, working on the current piece in the booklet, and then finishing up the last 10 minutes or so working on my composition, a rendition of Bastien's rendition of Angels We Have Heard on High. And if you want to see how I wrote that, here's another link up here to check that series of videos out. But before I get started on either of those two things, got to kick things off with that little bit of nice warm-up. This warm-up will be, as it has been of the past, I don't know, month-ish, month and a half. Not that it's going to sound like I've worked on it for a month and a half, because I'm not looking for proficiency on these. It's just positioning, how I'm sitting down, hand motions, getting the fingers warmed up, all that kind of crap. So usually it sounds pretty terrible, but I also don't see the need to waste a lot of time in trying to make it sound really, really great. So get in position, and off we go. God damn it. That's actually about the best I've ever done it. So, and I feel like something's tied up here. Hold on. Give me a sec. I'm going to cut while I adjust something real quick. All right, there we go. Feels much better. So, those two pieces were an exercise in harmonic fifths and sixths and a legato staccato interval in G, also largely focusing on fifths and sixths, though it doesn't explicitly say it. So, with that out of the way, gonna move on to America. So this is the kind of classic American patriotic tune by the looks of it that follows the tune of God Save the King, as they handily wrote a note here to let me know that. So, my country, 'tis of the sweet land of liberty, that one. So, now I got the sheet music in front of me for it, or at least a version of it. Well, let me see what it looks like at a first glance. Okay. Relatively slow, moderato speed, recommended tempo of 80, and at a quick glance, well, no pedal work for one, that's nice, and mostly chord work, actually basically all chord work on the left hand, which could make this relatively simple. I guess it's all going to depend on how difficult the work on the right hand is. So I'm going to go ahead and get my timer for 15 minutes started and see what I can't make of this at a first glance. Okay. So for starters, 3/4 time. Piece wasn't AWHHOH, it was Sonata theme. You can check out the beginning of that video series here, and the rest if you feel like it. It was another piece in 3/4 time, and for some reason it threw me for a loop. It's not like it was the first 3/4 piece that I've ever had to play from this booklet, but damn was I having an embarrassing amount of trouble with it. This one is in C as opposed to G, so rather than play over here, I might just scoot my chair over a little bit, get a little bit more centered, and just make it a little easier on myself. That's good enough. So what am I starting on? E. Yeah. Okay, so D, then come off, and then scoot the hand over. And do a finger walk. Or this might be one. This might be one where I just ignore what they wrote. So what they're suggesting here, which hopefully this camera angle is going to make apparent, or make, a little more easy to see, is first part, fairly straightforward. Come off. Then, by the looks of it with the finger numbers, it's suggesting shifting the whole hand over so that I can and then walk back over. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of finger walking along here, so I don't know if I want to just default with the finger numbers that they're giving right now just for the hell of it. See how it works. There have been a couple of times in the past where I've actually kind of ignored their finger number suggestions. Actually, one really recently. For AWHHOH, actually, it was on the last lesson that I was working on that song, kind of towards the tail end, and was having a lot of trouble really quickly bringing my hands in to hit some notes after needing to extend them out and bring them back from one beat to the next beat. There wasn't even like an eighth rest between it, and it was really difficult. And then I actually stopped and looked at the recommended finger numbers, and following that made it a whole hell of a lot easier. But that's not always the case. But is an indication that maybe I should pay them a little bit more mind and at least give them a shot. So okay, so this one makes sense so that I can maintain a slurred legato playing style for that whole phrase. So it'll be so so this shift is so that I can more easily hit this B rather than having to, because I'm going from B's to C's, and I can't do that smoothly if I'm just reaching my thumb out. So that one makes sense, so I'll follow him for it. I don't know if the first one makes as much sense, because I'm not playing notes directly after one another that are right next to each other with the same finger. So the or okay. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to follow that on that one. So rather than it suggesting that I shift my whole hand up so that I can hit this high A, relatively high A, that one I can just more easily enough reach my pinky out, because I switch back in the next bar anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do a whole bunch of stupid reaching. Then go to the G. Yeah, so this is one where I'm going to ignore about half of their finger number suggestions. Actually, about 2/3 of their finger number suggestions, because I feel I could just as easily just reach my pinky out. Also, give me a little bit of work on that kind of forearm strength to get the reach out for that, so I can do this sort of thing more easily and more regularly later on, so that I can splay my hand out as needed. I especially need work on that on my right hand. So. Yeah. So I barely have to move my hand at all one phrase is really all I have to move it for, and then when I shift it back, I can just leave it. So yeah, they're recommending a lot of unnecessary stuff on the right hand. So what am I doing left hand? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. That's not so bad. But it's not staccato, so it's 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, that's G and F. Yeah. 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, break. 1, 2, break. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2, rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, rest. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I've gotten so used to doing quick staccatos on chords on the left hand, I'm actually gonna have to break the habit on this because none of this is marked as being played staccato, so it's not these quick, but sustained. Not with a pedal, just, regular sustained. Just hold the note for the whole period. So putting it together, what have we got? All right, that's kind of basically it. A lot of fuck ups, a lot of places to work on smoothness, but it's not all that rough. So what are any little details that I'm missing? So on this first part, the supposed to play this slower. So slowing down as I go. And then come into basically that. So I'll continue working on that whenever my next lesson is, tomorrow, the next day. Who knows? I sure as hell don't. But with the end of that comes the continuation of my work on my composition of Angels We Have Heard on High based on Bastien's rendition of Angels We Have Heard on High. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's very obviously and very poorly handwritten. I'm sure that anyone who is versed in kind of reading music could take a quick glance and find all kinds of problems with it. And I've not taken the time to meticulously go through it or go through it at all and try and hunt those problems down. I feel I was relatively careful going through it while I was setting it up, but, you know, I've never gone back and double checked, and so far I haven't really felt the need to, because as I've worked through it kind of slowly note by note, which I've had to do even though I wrote it, I haven't really found any like timing issues or anything like that. So most of my issues are just with fucking transitions and being the one myself. And I was making fun of Bastien's, you know, finger placements and recommended fingering positions and all that. Well, now shoes on the other foot, and I'm having to figure it out from scratch. And, you know, it's not always super fun and it's not always super obvious, but I'll see how much of what I did last time actually stuck through to this time, because I got pretty decent at some of these transitions and thinking through some of these finger number placements. So this composition in G, 4/4 time, common time. And I haven't worked out a tempo for it yet because I can barely even play it. So I'll figure that stuff out later. Get ready to start, and away we go. Actually, that wasn't that fucking bad. All right. Um, Pleased to have seen that a lot of those transitions that I was kind of hammering through in those lessons, especially the last one at the end of last week, over and over again, actually like ooh boy. Ah, God, I'm all phlegmy right now. It's fucking great. Actually stuck with, especially God, I was really having trouble with the God, what is it? That one. Yeah, that almost threw me for a hell of a loop in my last session working with it. So it stuck, and also remembering that finger number placement at the very end, which I hadn't practiced very much. The especially that whole portion where I have to shift my hand over to again be able to maintain the kind of slurred playing style that I want from my left hand for the end of that piece. I can't really do that reaching my pinky out like this. Doesn't do so well. So, okay. I'm going to try it again from the top, but I might actually start playing around putting an actual metronome on this damn thing. Probably slow at first, like a 60 tempo, 60 BPM, but might step it up. 6 minutes left. Oh, that's why I'm not doing that finger transition. Haha, I was just praising myself on my finger transitions, and now I'm not doing them. Uh, Maybe I want to work on that one a little bit. Hold on. Maybe I want to put that same transition there that I was having with the other one, bring down the two, rather than just hope I can flick my hand over. Because I have to move it over anyway. So why not do it during that pause? So that'll be another hard transition to get, but if I spend the last 3 minutes kind of hammering it in, well, I should probably have it. Yeah, that's not too bad. Oh wait, I was basically having to do that anyway. Yeah. For some reason, that one's so much easier when I do it that way. I'm going to guess that a lot of the difficulty that I was having with just doing those two bars over and over again and just not being able to get it is that I have another form kind of like locked into memory or that I was working with, and I just think that let me make this notation change here so that I'm going to move this to 2. Yeah, and I guess I'll leave that at 5 there so that I remember that I want to do that change. And it's not really necessary, but I'll put a 5 up there since I am going back to that repeat. But yeah, I think it's just that having to overcome like a lot of kind of worked in my muscle memory in a way that I was doing it before, but I think doing it this way is more structured, whereas the other way felt like just kind of got it by luck most of the time, and luck's not going to hold if I'm trying to do it quickly. In America, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that difficult of a piece at all. I'll probably just get started with the tempo at 80 BPM. But seeing how well both of those things are going to work out is just stuff I'll have to find out in the next lesson. So if you'd like to see what it took for me to get this far, then you can either click up here or the link in the description below to catch the entire series from the very beginning. And if you'd like to find out where I go from here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you know when I upload next. Let's see what, if anything, I learn next time.